Peace Vision. We are a portal for positive change, and today we have our environmental reporter out in California with us, and this is Mr. Erik Crown with some great tips about how we can be better stewards of our environment. Good morning, Erik.
Hey, good morning, John. Thank you for having me back here and giving an opportunity to talk about these topics.
Yeah, well, we're always all about what can we do. You know, if you want to bitch and complain, you can go elsewhere. But if you want solutions, we're here at Peace Visions for Solutions. And today's topic is what do we do in our everyday life that can make the environment a better place? Can you got some tips for us, Erik?
Definitely. This is one of my true passions. I honestly believe that we can change the world without actually doing that much. We can change it at home just by making decisions. I call it the revolution through routine. Everyday decisions that you make will affect the world around us in profound ways that a lot of times aren't discussed. I think that one of the biggest problems we have is that companies, they want to listen, but we don't know how to speak to them. They speak the language of economic, and we speak the language of emotion. How can you pollute our waters? How can you do this and that? But they have a responsibility to their shareholders. So we need to learn how to speak to them in a language that they understand. And that comes through how we purchase things. There's about almost 8 billion people in the world. Together, we are a massive force, and our choices that we make every day change everything around us, and the companies do listen. And one great example is, so revolution through routine, a couple basic things we've always thought about we can think of in new ways. One of them, which is a fantastic success story, is the Igloo Recool. And what they have done is Igloo has created something you can take out to the beach with you, and it's completely compostable. And it holds about the same amount of ice and beverages and everything else that you would have in a normal plastic igloo, but it removes the plastic from the equation. So when a company that large will start to listen to what we want, we know we can have a huge impact if we just stay focused on what we're doing individually, because our individual actions are, like I said, they're very universal. One of the biggest ones I think too is toothbrushes. Toothbrushes there's over 1 billion toothbrushes thrown away every year in the US. So if people are buying plastic toothbrushes, there are no recycling elements and no recycling ability for these toothbrushes, and the majority of them end up in landfills, which, as a lot of us know, then end up in the ocean. Now, that can be changed because there are new bamboo toothbrushes coming around. Even companies, like Colgate are making with bamboo elements now and non-plastic elements. So it's fantastic. Again, you don't have to go to these weird companies to find solutions. They're right here with our major brands. Keep supporting those decisions those companies are making, and we can keep this change happening.
One of the things I wondered is there a central website that you would recommend that kind of gives you the A through Z of how we can make a difference in this regard, or is that yet to be developed and we need to do it?
I think we need to still actually put that together because
Okay.
what we do have is there's a couple great places like earth911.org is a fantastic website that allows you to go and look how to recycle things. Like for me, I always have weird stuff like mosquito nets, and what do you do with those? So you can go to that website and it gives you wonderful solutions. But I think when it comes to our revolution through routine, we can remember most of what we purchase is a big issue. Now, I personally enjoy using this app called Boycott, which allows you to enter in what is important to you. And then you can check the UPC codes of any product and see if it's in violation of your own personal ethics.
Wow, that's
So
very cool. Now, how do we find that again?
Boycott, BUYCOTT.com. And I believe you can just download it in your app store or your Android store. I personally use it and I love it. A great example for me is palm oil. Palm oil is an overused and it's a monoculture crop. It's creating the destruction of so many habitats in the world. So I do my best to avoid it. Now, the problem is it's cheap and it's everywhere. A lot of people want to do good in the world, but accidentally, and it's not our fault. I mean, things are so well hidden by these companies that it really is on us, though, to figure out how to identify, what we can change. Now, obvious things are obviously don't buy plastic bottles of water. Recently, Coke rejected everybody's cry out to say, please stop using plastic, and they rejected it. Now plastic bags, of course, are another obvious solution. When I go to the grocery store, I just put my fruit and vegetables in the cart, especially in the COVID times. People look at me like I'm nuts, but I'm going to wash it all later anyway. So the plastic bags in the produce section is a fantastic little thing you can just eliminate every day. And it won't cause you any harm, and it doesn't, cause the companies any
Or
harm.
bring in a reusable bag, right?
Exactly. There's tons of wonderful reusable bags. I know people have good mesh bags that they like to take in, put the fruits in, and it's fantastic. Like 5 years ago, grocery stores were not as open to this as they are now. They're sort of like, it's like anything goes now. You can bring in whatever you want, and they're very understanding. So it's another fantastic change that shows our continuous push towards change is listened to even by the big companies, which is what's super critical for us. Because I think the most important aspect of revolution through routine is plastics. Honestly, there's so much microplastic. They found that everybody has enough microplastics in them that they eat approximately 5 grams of microplastics a week, which means that you eat approximately 1 credit card of plastic a week without knowing it, because there's so much microplastics in our water, in our environment. And this is what we're fighting with our revolution through routine. This is the change that we're advocating for, for healthier, cleaner environments and systems. Now, one of the major issues when it comes to these microplastics, of course, is, the bags, the plastics, PVC pipings. They're unfortunately have an extremely toxic composite. And so when they turn into microplastics, it can become an issue, and for people that aren't aware of microplastics, it's normal plastics that get beat up and chipped off, and then they get into the ecosystem, and it can either stay in the shallows where, smaller birds can eat it, smaller fish can eat it. And as we know, amoebas even attach onto plastics because they have rough texture, and those then start to get eat and they go up the food chain, eventually ending with us.
Yeah,
So
one of the things in that regard, when you're talking about PVC and so forth, is just having a really good filtration system, right, in our home to where we can try to filter some of that stuff out.
that's a wonderful point. They make these beautiful filters for your laundry machines. Laundry actually has tons of microplastics that come through. Some of it is caught in your lint filter, but what isn't just goes right out into the waterways without thought. So that they found that a huge percentage, I think around 60% of the microplastics that were coming through the washing machine. So you can buy a filter, it's about $100. You can attach it to your washing machine so that the water it pushes back out is microplastic filtered. You can also buy, a lot of companies create these bags that you can grab that are like eco bags that'll hold in the microplastics. And they also have laundry balls that they've invented as well that people can use. So, that's another wonderful way that you can save the planet without even changing anything. Just buy that one thing different.
So, revolution through routine, that's the new buzzword. And Eric Crown is the leader there. Thank you so much for doing that. When we have you on next, Eric, I'd really like to get into some of the things that we put in our mouths and some tips there with the fish and things that we're eating and not knowing the real damage we may be doing to ourselves and or the environment. So how about we have you back on real soon and we talk about that?
I would love that. Thank you so much. Look forward
And
to it.
before we go again, that's that website you gave us. It's Boycott or boy, what is it? Boycott?
Boycott, almost like a boycott, but you're going to buy it. So it's a Boycott is the name of the app. And you can Google BUICOTT. And I think it's boycott.com, but the apps are in the Android and Apple stores. And like I said, it'll help you program your personal ethics and then find products that correspond to that as reported by UPC codes.
That's awesome. That's great stuff. We love that. We like useful information that can make all of our lives a better place. Eric Crown, we will see you soon, my man.
All right. Thank you. It's nice to see everybody. Talk to you soon.